Welcome back everybody. Apa khabar? Sekali lagi we discuss about your financial tips. My name is JJ and the champion on my side is Rafiq. He is a professional financial planner. Ada word professional ke?
Licensed financial planner.
Licensed. Okay, that's the right word. Licensed financial planner. So he is the guy who actually knows. I am the person who act like I know. Tu yang bezanya. So but we've been doing this show for quite some time already. I can actually say I know quite a bit as well, all thanks to our conversations that we have.
Yeah, actually true. Like I was actually about to say that, and it shows how often we talk lah.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, yeah, I think you can probably like take learn a bit, take the certification.
No, actually, who knows? I might just do that because in this day and age and time, anything is possible, bro. Especially now we are back to square one or square two. I don't know where, drawing board. I don't know where we are, but we are there. Okay. Before we continue, I just want to say, if you want to check your finances, your financial health, under Rafiq, you'll see a scan me. Scan that code, or on top, type in that link there. You can check your financial health for free, and it's private; no one can see it. But if you want, more detailed check to your finances, then you get in touch with them. Their social media is there, the website is there. Get in touch with them and then figure that out. All right. So back to finances. Let's talk about. I know today we're going to talk about how to grow your wealth as a couple, as together, but we push that aside sekejap because all of a sudden we are in a 3-letter alphabet again, or 4-letter alphabet that confuses everybody. 4 letters, okay, 4-letter alphabet, and then after that, I also want to ask that recently there was an announcement for the PEMULIH or something like that. Is there anything in there that can benefit normal people? like I saw something called the iCitra or something like that. What is that? So anything in there to help?
Okay, so technically, it's just variation of previous things that has been announced.
Okay.
So basically, first we have what people have been asking for, which is a moratorium.
Yep.
Okay, so moratorium. So if you also look on social media, like a lot of people are speculating in terms of what the moratorium going to be like. Is it going to be like the first MCO moratorium, or is it going to be under the most recent moratorium where it wasn't automatic, things like that? So a lot of people are speculating. So, but the thing is, even with the first moratorium, Bank Negara had some guidelines, but it was still up to each banks to then identify what was the execution, what was the implementation.
Yep.
Okay, so and from what I understand for this one, the details has not come out yet. So whatever that you see people are sharing from the banks and everything, ignore it, because none of the banks has come out officially yet. Like, this is what it is. Okay,
all right, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, so because I've seen people sharing some from some of the banks. I'm not going to mention the banks and everything. I'm not going to put myself in spotlight. I'm not going to put myself in spotlight. So, but the details has not come out yet. So the details have come out yet. So the application is supposed to start on the 7th of July.
Right.
Yeah. So what it tells me that it will actually start in 1st August.
Okay.
Well, that's my understanding lah. That's my understanding, because usually the monthly repayments for most financing is actually at the 1st of the month.
Yes.
So it's at the 1st of the month. So if I do not know whether so what are the banks going to do with, let's say, the housing loans? What are the banks are going to do with the car financing? What's the banks going to do with credit cards and everything? You can try to read into whatever the minister is saying, whatever the prime minister is saying and everything. But as a financial planner, until I see the actual black and white, I'm not going to not gonna like give my inputs in terms of whether it's good or not for you. However, if you are in a situation where you you
Can
you
pay.
don't have, no, not there, you cannot pay. You cannot pay your
Cannot pay.
loans. You lost your income. Your savings has gone down to zero. Things like that.
Uh,
Don't think don't think twice about it. Whatever
just
the whatever the terms and condition, you basically
just
technically have to go for it, because at least whatever it is, yes, it pushes the problem down the road, which is what
yes,
moratorium is.
yes.
But the thing is, at least now it gives you 6 more months to figure out what you
What
need
to
to
do?
do in
Yep.
order for you to, because I this afternoon, I had a appointment with a client
Right.
where we were discussing. So he went from a high paying sales job to doing his own business and everything. So based on, and with most Malaysians, when they were doing good, so commitments is very high.
Oh yes. Sorry, that was
Yeah.
too
So
loud from my part.
yeah. So commitments were very high. So, and while I was preparing his financial plan, the moratorium wasn't announced.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but when I was presenting it, obviously is at least it's been announced. So then that changed the total outlook in terms of what his plan would be.
Okay.
Because now, with the combination of moratorium and whatever assets that he has, at least I can make sure for the next 12 months, he and his family will be still be okay.
Yeah.
Survive. He would survive. And to me, in that situation, it's a good enough win already.
No, correct. Because at the
Yeah.
moment, for me, in this situation that we're in, with all these alphabets changing, I think it's just so that you can survive to the end of this, and then because your mind is stuck. If you're worrying on finances, it's an additional worry on top of health, on top of a lot of things. So if you can solve it, you solve it. But on that note, for people who don't understand moratorium, it doesn't mean you don't pay, and interest is not added on. Interest is added on, but you deal with that problem later lah. Okay, if you
Yeah.
don't have money, you deal with that problem later. But that's why Rafiq said, if before this, if you can afford your loans, don't go for it. If you're not affected with your income, if everything is still like running smoothly for you, don't go for the moratorium. Don't think, oh, advantage to me. No, it's not. You're paying interest for things that you could have depleted and bring it down. So if you can afford it, don't go for the moratorium. But no choice, please go for it, because it saves your life.
Yeah, so that's the first one. The second one is, as you mentioned, the iCitra. Okay,
It's not a
so
car.
iCitra, yeah, it's not a car. It's not a car. But I find it interesting, because I didn't notice it, but this is things about Malaysians. So we have a lot of time, and we are very creative.
Yeah.
Actually, we're very creative. So some of them made the condition. So the reason why the I is in front of all the EPF withdrawals, because it's your money.
Yeah, betul. No, correct. It is your money. It's no
So
one giving you free money.
it's I Lestari. I
Yeah.
Sina. I Chitra. So I said, oh, okay. When you give people who don't have anything to do a lot of time,
Time.
so this kind of thing comes out. So it's just another withdrawal from your EPF account.
Yep.
It's another withdrawal. So similar to the
Aisina.
Saisina moratorium, whatever. So if let's say you're in a situation where you need to have the access to the money, go ahead.
All right. Okay, I got a question. If someone took Aisina, can they take iCitra?
As long as they still have money in the APF, they should still be able to take. Because iCitra, I think maximum, based on what I heard, maximum you can take out 5,000. So it's like 1,000 a month. And it's taken from your account 2 first. If you don't have money in account 2, then only they take out from account 1.
Okay. So it's if you need, take lah. It's your money already. Don't think, oh, itu untuk masa saya tua. If you don't reach tua, how? So get to being tua dulu lah. Okay, please. If you need the money, there's nothing wrong to it. But don't ambil the money keluar joli. Okay?
Yes.
Yang tu
Yeah.
jangan.
So basically, this is all like, I think the mood is survive.
Yes.
Survive. So survive financially, survive physically, survive mentally, survive emotionally. Like, I think I know most of us are in fatigue already.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are in fatigue. So I know, like, for me, I'm in a good financial situation. I'm also feeling fatigue. So I can't
Imagine
uh
the other people.
imagine those that also like have financial burdens, like
Oh,
what they're going through, because it's, I think, and especially like if let's say they do not know who to talk to, who
correct.
to get help from, everything. So if we see our last live session with Sir Azmi,
Mm,
right? So we did mention a few of those things. So please, if let's say you do have problems with it, please talk to
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Please talk to somebody. Please inform somebody. Like, if you don't talk, people would not know.
Correct. Correct. I mean, like,
People do not know.
people are
Because
nice. Malaysians
yeah,
are
because
nice.
yeah,
Everybody wants to help.
because one of the worst things is actually for in this scenario is like
Mhm.
people always think about the B40s. So
Yes.
people who don't have houses, who don't have food and everything. Actually, one of the most affected groups are actually your M40s who might have a house, might have cars, have
Ada
aircon,
beban.
everything at home, but they suddenly lost their job, lost their income.
Oh, I feel for them.
Yeah, yeah, because you technically went through it a couple of years ago, so you understand.
Yeah, I totally understand it, and it's the scariest feeling in the whole wide. It's literally okay. If for those of you who don't understand what people go through when they lose their job overnight, like I lost my job within 3 weeks. I found out I'm losing my job 3 weeks before I lost my job. Okay, so it feels like the floor is pulled away from you, and you're just falling nonstop into a black void because you don't know where you're gonna go. You don't know what's gonna happen. Tak ada parachute pun. You whatever parachute you got, you're pulling. So it's a scary thing. We got a question from the floor, Chewa, and once again, it's a lot of champions. Victor is here again. Victor, thank you so much. Hanif asks, wait, mana Hanif? Okay, Hanif. I Citra keluarkan duit labur di safe place like ASB and tabung haji pandangan? That's a good question. We've answered this before. Go ahead.
Mm. Okay. So I think to me it depends on the reason. So basically, okay, if you're talking about EPF is giving you 5%, about 5% per annum if you're with the Sharia scheme. If
Yep.
you're in the convention scheme, is slightly higher compared to, let's say, ASB, who's giving you 4 point something percent basic plus some bonus, and Tabung Haji, which is giving you 3.1% plus zakat. So
Aha.
it depends. But the thing is, okay, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. So that's one comparison that you have to make. But the other comparison that you have to make is liquidity.
Yeah, correct.
Is
Correct.
liquidity. So while taking out money to put in, let's say, ASK and tabung haji might reduce the return that you can get, but you get the added advantage of liquidity. So
Yep.
because you do not know, okay, so last year we said, okay, probably I still remember when we had our first MCO, I said, okay, until end of June, then first MCO is going to complete, then we're going to go into like improvements and everything. So, but
Yep.
if you ask me now, with the situation and everything, I'm less optimist. I'm less
Yeah.
optimistic. I'm less
Yeah.
optimistic, and the fact that the another 6 months moratorium has been announced give me pause.
Yes. Yes.
Give me pause that at least we might be looking at 3 to 6 months more to go.
Correct. No, exactly that. So if
Yeah.
you don't understand liquidity, just for some of you, it's like, wow, that one sounds very financial term. Basically, kalau nak keluarkan duit, senang aja. So if you put it in ASB and tabung haji, if you want to take it back for yourself, you can instantly. You can't take money out of your EPF. So this is your chance to take out whatever you want, put into somewhere where if you need it, you can just pull it out straight away. All right.
Yeah.
So that, but the interest rate is lower than EPF. So
The
you
returns lah.
pandai-pandai lah.
Yeah.
The returns.
So
Yeah.
you gain some, you lose some lah.
Correct. So
You gain some.
you got to
Yeah.
figure out what is your priorities and why are you doing it. If your priorities is to make more money from it, then it's not a smart idea. But if your priorities is for emergency backup in case anything happens, then go ahead. Tak ada masalah for that. Fuyo. Saya tengok kita seorang semua pandai. But what other questions we got? We got some from Victor as well. So Victor's got a few questions.
Wow.
Hi,
Victor.
Let me see. Evening, JJ. Okay, use otherwise I die. Oh no, sorry, not questions. He making fun of all the I.
Good one.
That was funny, dude. That is funny. Have compared EPF dividend, which is higher, correct? Agree, moving timeline, ASB, liquidity. Correct. So that one all, Victor, he's done his research. All right, so we've done with that. If you got any other financial questions, please ask before we go into the main topic that we wanted to cover today, which doesn't stop you from asking any other questions. Please be clear of that. Once again, I want to say, you see the Scan Me one, scan for your free financial health check to check whether you're okay or not. And if you want to go in more details after that financial health check, please get in touch with WealthVantage. They will try their best to help you out, and you know, they'll not try their best. They will do their best for you. So that's the best thing.
So the initial consultation is free. It's really free.
Yes. Yep.
It's really free, and there's no commitment, no whatsoever. So you can come, you just tell us your financial situation. We will give you our opinions and everything. Then you can just move on with your life. There's no commitment.
So please, get in touch, find out about your financial health, and then if you need more help, then discuss further. So let's go to our main topic, which already ada orang tanya soalan, which I like, from Nick Adlan. Can you just put up what Nick Adlan said? Oh, soalan panas at the start already. I tengok soalan ni, I also takut nak jawab, okay? Berapa kerap pasangan suami isteri patut discuss kewangan mereka? Apakah topik yang patut didiscuss? I berpeluh already.
So before I answer this, let me reflect on you, JJ. Okay, so I know you, I know your wife, Corey.
Yeah.
Okay, since you've been married, how often do you talk about your family finances?
Not often enough.
Not often enough.
Yeah, because more or less, I tend to handle it.
Okay. Which is normal. Is normal. So you probably have certain discussions in terms of how to spend the money.
Correct. No, because me and my wife, we made a decision long time ago that I was going to be the sole breadwinner and she was going to help us raise the kids, and which is the harder job. Trust me on that one. I'm like, I don't know how single moms do it. I got so much respect. So so in that form, I technically handled all the situation lah. But now it's different. Both of us are contributing. Both of us are finding ways to add to it. So it's slightly different. So we have a bigger discussion on who to pay, who pays what, who is in charge of what bill, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Okay. So with regards to this answer, it's actually very dependent on the financial behaviors of each couple. So JJ just explained two different sets. So one is when he's the main breadwinner. He's the main breadwinner, who's the sole breadwinner, where he contributes 100% of the family income.
Yeah.
Okay. It contributes family income, but it's not that his wife doesn't have an input. His wife has an input in terms of the spending part. Not to say spend suka-suka on the ones, but spend in terms of so example, going to holidays, like what type of car to buy, like the home improvements, the type of food, all that. So there is that the kids' education. So there is still inputs. It's just that the wife doesn't have any input, let's say, on the income that you bring in,
Yes, correct.
or in terms of, let's say, your investment choices.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Which some of them turned out to be very bad. I should have
yeah.
listened to my wife.
Okay, so that's one scenario. So, but
Yeah.
then you mentioned the other scenario where, okay, now both are equally contributing.
Yeah.
So now that both are equally contributing, it then became naturally that both provide inputs throughout.
Yep. Correct.
Because you know that, the reason why we have to band together is because we need to understand what is it that we're facing,
Yeah. Betul.
what is it we're facing, so that we make sure that we have sufficient in order to settle whatever that we need to settle.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Okay,
Betul.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are two situations. Okay, so because for me, when I remember, so when I first got married. Okay, when I first got married, so at that point of time, I wasn't earning a lot. I wasn't earning a lot, so my wife contributed to the family expenses.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so my wife contributed to family expenses, and we had, to be honest, we had more discussions with regard to the family finances back then. We had more fun because the thing is, we made it like a daily activity to
Uh-huh.
talk about what we spend on, because we wanted to balance our budget.
Correct.
Wanted to balance our budget. So because we had a budget, okay, because we were making enough. So if we started with this much, so what did we spend on? So that that was like our daily routine. So then when we had something extra at the end of the week, whatnot, so, okay, can we spend slightly more on some wants that we couldn't spend during the week? So that was the communication that we had regularly.
Okay.
So it was,
Cool.
like I said, it was every day. Okay. But as we grew, as my income grew, so because then I took over more and more of the financial responsibilities, until a point where my wife doesn't financially contribute to the expenses anymore.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so I contribute 100% to the expenses, and I also contribute to the savings
Okay.
for the family. But
Yep.
I still discuss with my wife with regards to the big decisions.
Of course.
So that one we usually have at least once every few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once every few months. But I still remember, but it wasn't always like that. It
Okay.
wasn't always like that. I still remember one time we had actually a argument.
Okay.
We had an argument because uh because we really didn't talk about our finances that much, because to me at that point of time, I was taking care of everything. As to me, my mindset is, as long as everything, I can put food on the table, I can pay for all the commitments, I can put aside whatever savings I need, we can go for travel, whatnot. Like, on for me, I've done my role as the main breadwinner.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and I didn't take into account like her own financial situation. Like, she's working, like her family side, like
Right.
in terms of needs. So I didn't look into that part, and it actually became an argument. It actually
I
became an
totally
argument.
understand where you're coming from because I've been through that too. Because
Yeah,
the scary part is we go back to communication. When it comes to this, yes, finances is good, being aware, but communication is very important. So if both sides are aware of what's going on and both sides knows the needs and then can weed out the wants, so the wants can put aside the needs, kautim dulu, and make sure all needs is
yeah,
met, then it's good for your finances as well. It can help you grow wealth too.
yeah.
So together, if you discuss, it'll be okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So that the communication part, I think that it was a very good question by Nick. So the communication part is
Yep.
actually very important. So you cannot assume that because you have taken care of everything, you shouldn't have a discussion with your spouse. So I'm talking
Correct.
spouse
Correct.
because the main breadwinner can be the female. Doesn't necessarily
Correct.
have to be
Agree.
doesn't have
Agree.
to
Agree.
necessarily be
Be
the
the
male.
male.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so having that discussion, I said, okay, so this is how much I'm earning. This is how much I'm allocating.
Yep.
In terms of, okay, this is my gross, this is my net. So from this net, how much goes to commitments, how much goes to our needs, okay,
Yep.
how much goes to investments, and okay, how much goes to our wants. So do we have
Correct.
sufficient? Because the thing is, if you do that and you explain properly, so then okay, your partner will know. Okay, oh, we only have, let's say, an allocation of, let's say, 10,000 for the whole year in order to be
Holiday.
lavish,
Oh, okay.
to
Okay.
holiday, or
Ya,
to,
ke apa
let's
lah?
say, buy a new TV, or
Faham.
buy a PS5 or whatever that is. So this is it. So if you ask for more than this, I cannot afford it
Yep.
without going into that.
Yep.
Without going into that. So I think that would be a better situation than like bodoh sombong,
Correct.
ego.
Ah,
So said,
boleh boleh.
oh, it's
Buat
okay.
dulu boleh.
Boleh, boleh.
Ya.
I berhutang, buat hutang, hutang sampai satu level where the hutang is already too much, that
And
then
then
only you have the discussion with your partner, with your spouse. Then at that time, it might be too late
yes, and
in
it might
order to,
meletup for
it might,
something else.
yeah, correct. So the short answer to next question is have at least maybe once every 2 weeks, once every month. At
Yeah.
least doesn't have to be the same topic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Betul,
so
betul.
you can make it fun. Okay, so example, okay, can talk about what is it that you want to buy,
Correct.
that, or what is it that you want to upgrade. So you can talk about the wants, and then through that, then you put in the facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
you put in the facts.
also it also goes back to one of the things we discussed at the beginning of end of last year. Try and create a budget for the year, and the budget of the year should be discussed with your spouse,
Yes.
so that you can allocate the year budget. So you push aside every month loan banyak ni, kalau nak simpan banyak ni, and all the important
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So
So because I've been having that discussion about the budget with my wife, so it is technically it's a double-edged sword. I'm just
okay,
talking experience. So before this, I got to say, okay, we cannot spend on this because we already allocated this much for this particular area.
yeah.
So the thing is, because we already set the budget. So example, so one of our biggest budget every year is traveling. So there's
Ah,
no way we can travel this year. So
so
being the wife of a financial planner, so, and we've talked about it so many times. So she then uses it to her advantage, saying, "Oh, we're not spending on that, so we should be spending on something else."
correct. It's disposable money. So I mean,
Correct.
if you can use it, go ahead, use it. If you want to invest it, also can. Tak ada masalah, but together, it was supposed to be for
Uh,
enjoyment, so spend it on enjoyment.
yeah. So like, and when the thing is, because she's so used to that already, so then she uses it. I have nothing to say lah.
Yeah, betul. No, it's
I
a
have nothing
fair
to say.
discussion. It's a
So okay,
fair discussion.
let's. So now basically I don't argue anymore. So okay, what color do you want? Or
Fair enough. I mean, like, because there is allocated budget, it's not, you're not going to the red for it. So which is actually a good thing. Because in a way, you're like, hey, I've got this surplus. Rather than you're going back, you're in the red, you got surplus. Surplus is always better. Every time when it comes to finances, surplus spending
yeah,
bagus because you can
yeah.
grow that.
So people generally ask me, my clients usually ask me, so how do I allocate for my wants and everything? So what I do is, like I said, like what JJ said, I will actually budget it from the start of the year.
Yep.
I will actually budget it from the start of the year so that I know, okay, so how much money is allocated to commitments, how much money is allocated to food, education, and everything, how much money is allocated to my future, which is my investments,
Yep.
how much money is allocated to takaful, and
Yep.
how much money is allocated to my wants.
Okay. Okay. Correct.
Okay, so it
Correct.
doesn't matter whether you spend it that month or not, but you still allocate it and put it aside.
Correct. So
Uh,
it'll be surplus. Okay. Now, hopefully that answers your question about the discussion of finances. I want to ask a question when it comes to finances also, growing wealth, is there advantages of doing it together, or is there special things where couples Ada tak for any wealth place to be a couple driven thing, or is it not important?
From the instruments point of view, I don't see that much advantage, to be
Okay.
honest. Okay,
That's
for
the question.
instruments means the place where you put the money in lah, in
Correct.
order to grow it. I think it would be better off to have it separately. But while on the topic, you should have discussions in terms of your goals.
Yep. Okay.
So why are you saving? Why are you investing that money?
All right. Okay.
So okay, there are certain things that you probably set on your own, means that your own retirement.
Okay.
Your own
Yeah.
retirement, or when you want to achieve financial freedom. So then you discuss. You can set on your own, but I would still advise you to discuss with your partner, because
That,
it's gonna be a bit weird. So let's say, okay, so one person says, okay, I'm gonna achieve financial free in, let's say, 5 years time. The
correct.
other one that doesn't know that, and like, okay, target like 15 years later. So one person will be staying at home, like doing nothing, things like that, right? So like the
Yeah.
other one is still going to work, right? So it's gonna be a bit weird lah. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's gonna be a bit weird. It's gonna
I've
be
got a question about the investments, right? Because look, we invest for our future. We're trying to grow, but also what happens upon death is your investments will go on to your waris, correct? Is it better to spread the investments, like half go to wife, half go to husband, but both are still growing, and then in case something happens to someone, the other person already still have some investment and just go through the process of collecting the other person's investment? Or should let's just say lah, sole breadwinner, he's the one who does the investment, should put everything under his name or should separate both sides?
the pros and cons. There's
Ah,
pros and
that's the question I
there,
want to know.
there are pros and cons with regards to that. So let's take the sole breadwinner situation.
Okay.
Sole breadwinner situation. So if, let's say, you put all the money under one person's name, example, the breadwinner's name,
Yep.
so you then need to have proper estate planning, because at the point that you pass away, most of your accounts, most of your investments, everything will be frozen.
Correct.
So then what happens to your beneficiaries? Basically your waris lah, your waris during that period of time. Okay. So generally, when we talk about estate planning, doesn't matter. So we said, okay, if let's say the main breadwinner passes away, you
Yep.
at least need to be able to make your spouse to have access to at least 6 months of the monthly expenses. Being
Okay.
conservative.
Okay.
Being
Okay.
conservative, basically, hoping that like all your takaful payouts and everything would come within the 6 months, and then all your other like distributions of all your other assets would follow suit after that.
So, in other words, what you're saying is you have to have 6 months of liquid, something liquid for the spouse to get. So, what is liquid? What do you mean by that? Where is
No,
the?
so basically, okay, there are a lot of instruments. So it can be as simple as having, let's say, for Muslims, a tabung haji account, or
Okay.
or an SB account, where you already put this thing called hibah amanah. Means
Okay.
that at the point that you pass away, then within 7 to 21 business days, it gives to the person that you put the name there.
All right. Okay.
So
Understand.
that they're gonna have access immediately lah. They're gonna have access immediately. So then their name. Okay. So then there's no issue that I know of some of my clients who actually then put some of their money into their spouse's account directly.
Right.
But while they're still living, the spouse is also okay with that person like managing that money, so to help it grow.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
because they basically they want to bypass. So okay lah, you put hibah amanah, you still have to pay. You still have to
Yes.
pay to set up. You still have to pay when the money is actually given. So and they
Correct.
say, okay lah, I trust you enough. Blah blah blah. I'm okay to put 6 months. It might be 60,000. It might be 120,000. It might be 200,000, depending, right? But I
Just
trust you
trust the
enough
word. Yeah.
to put that. So then, by all means, go ahead. So
Understand.
because different people's situations gonna be different. So I like what financial planning is, I cannot prescribe you one
Correct.
standard way in
Agreed.
terms
Agreed.
of to solve this particular question.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. The second way is by setting trust.
Right.
So meaning that you already given your money to a third party to hold in trust.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then the instruction that you give, if I pass away, this money is then to be distributed. Why this is important? Because just now when I was talking about the scenario, we were assuming that one spouse passes away.
Yeah. Oh, if both pass away, how?
What happens if both passes away?
Oh, yeah. Lagi teruk. Oh, I didn't think of
So
that. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
trust, like a trust would help a bit in that sense
Right.
if
Okay.
if it has been set up properly.
Okay. Okay. But
It has been set up.
there are proper trusts out there. If you have wealth, please,
Yes.
it's no. But how fast is the transfer of that from? Because my biggest question for when it comes to this wealth and liquidity is if something happens, how fast will the family have access to sustain?
Usually, if you're talking about the trust, the hibah manah, you're talking about 7 business days at most.
Okay, that's good. No, because that's very important for me. It's just making sure the family continues. That's the big
Yeah.
question.
They have the procedures lah. You have to give them the copy of the sijil kematian and everything, right?
Right.
For the process to start. But
Okay.
if you had done your proper estate planning, then shouldn't be a problem.
All right.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. So there you go. That is growing wealth, and sustainability, and in case of death, and paham lah when it comes to spouses. Now the next question when it comes to spouses is taxes. Do together or separate? Individual.
No. This is actually a topic that we learn when we take our certification. So
Oh,
usually
okay.
they ask us to calculate both scenarios. So should I do joint
Yep.
submission or should I do separate submission?
Correct.
Okay. However, based on all the case studies that I've done and real life situation, I've never seen a situation personally lah where joint submission makes more sense for when both husband and wife has income.
Right. Okay. 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 It doesn't make sense when both are having income.
Because actually you lose so much on the tax relief. You lose so
Correct.
much on the tax relief.
Correct.
Because
Okay.
even if you talk about it, right? So even if you don't have any other relief, you just have a personal relief. So it's 9,000 per individual, but it's only like 5,000 for a spouse. So
Ah.
you lose 4,000 there already.
Correct. Correct. No,
You
that
lose
is true.
4,000 there. I think. Yeah. So because of our tax structure in Malaysia with the reliefs and everything,
Yeah.
so like I said, I've never seen. There are probably you can talk to experts, tax agents, and everything. There might be a situation where it's actually better for joint submission or joint declaration. But so far, this is my own experience when I take my certification and also when I talk to my clients. I've never seen personally a situation where joint declaration or joint submission makes sense due to
Okay.
the tax relief. Due to the tax relief.
Victor has something to add because he works in HR. So he says if both have income, definitely separate. Because of the thing. I know sometimes you think the other reliefs where your children and all that, you pandai-pandai lah. If you got two children, okay, you ambil satu, aku ambil satu, and put inside. Can also, no problem. Or you look at it in a way of which spouse is making more income, and then they should need more relief. So be smart about that part. I'm not saying just the guy take it or just the woman take it. It's whoever is making more and who needs more relief, try and cut down there, because you already have things in there to cut down your own taxes. But support yang make money and then they need more help, throw that lah. Work together as a team.
Yeah. So usually when I talk to my clients, like reliefs that you can only claim for one, so especially kids relief, right? So we will try to say, okay, it makes more benefit to deduct it from whoever that pays out higher taxes.
Correct.
Okay, yes, I have taxes, but this is where facts versus emotions comes in.
Okay.
Okay, so especially if the main income earner is the husband and the lesser income earner is the wife. So I said,
Yeah.
but I'm the one that gave birth and everything, so I should. Yeah. So one way to get out of it. Okay, so basically you need to explain. Okay, let me deduct the tax relief so that I pay less taxes to the government so that I can give more to you.
Correct. No, agreed. So you see, it goes back to what Nick said just now. How
The
often should you
communication.
have your
Yeah.
communication about finances? This is one of the things you should discuss. It's nothing to do with pride or ke apa. It's just who's bringing in more money. They should have the most relief. Even like other reliefs, like baca buku. I don't know. We still have book receipts and all
Is
that.
it's already combined under lifestyle relief already.
Okay, so there you go. So whatever you can combine your expenses and throw it to someone who has more. That's how you help each other out in a family.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any other way of helping when it comes
Yeah,
to
because
taxes.
actually if you take into account the reliefs that you can get from filing your taxes, somebody who's earning a higher income actually has more savings.
Okay,
So,
okay,
so talk, let's take back the wealth part that you were discussing earlier.
right.
So, okay, so if we take into account the taxation part, so there because there are certain investments and certain savings that you do get tax relief. So there are
Correct.
two mainly. So one is the private retirement scheme. The other one is the Sijil Simpanan Premium Nasional.
Yes.
Okay, actually both can get the relief. But let's say when you discuss your whole family situation, the person who can save the money is actually the wife because the husband is paying for all the commitments and the husband is, let's say, the main income earner. But
Correct.
the husband might be taxed at 24%, 24.5%, but the wife might be taxed at, let's say, 7% or 9%, depending lah, right? So it's not to say that you shouldn't save in SSPN or PRS. You should, but if it's
Under.
okay, you then channel the savings under your husband's name because then you will the savings that you get. Example is like you can do the 3,000 plus 8,000. That's 11,000 relief. So
Yep.
at 24%, that's about 200 2540.
So
Yeah, I
so
think yeah 2540.
once again, it's nothing to do with pride. It's nothing to do is under your name or my name or all that. Please put that aside. If you're already married, that one no need to talk already. Okay, please
Yeah.
stop talking about that. Talk about how you can bring down and how is best to grow wealth together. Nothing to do with pride. Put it aside. Tolong. Because it's very dangerous. Okay, once again, if you're just joining us, if you got any questions, any financial tips that you want to ask today, yes, the focus is on couples, but it
Mm.
can be about anybody, about anything also.
Uh,
Don't
so
feel chua if you suddenly want to ask about single punya
yeah.
problem pun tak ada masalah. We still answer it. On a second note is if you want to do your free financial health check, remember it's free being the keyword. The scan is bawah Rafiq there, or you can see that code up there. Just go there, click there. It's for free. You can check your financial health. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Victor is like on fire today, sharing a lot of information. Thank you, man. Okay, now when it comes to spouse, like married couple, where are the best instruments to grow wealth? Because I know it's same lah, like it's individuals, but and you earlier already said there's no specific things for couples, but do you suggest they put it together and grow? Because you think of it, if you combine your wealth, you can invest on bigger things. So good idea or bad idea?
Actually, it actually goes back to how well the couple trust each other.
Oh, because it has to be
Uh,
under someone's name, right?
Correct. Or it can be a joint account. Some of the instruments allow for joint account. ASB tabung haji, no, but your unit trust, your some other accounts and everything, you can have joint. You can have multiple account owners.
Oh, I never knew that.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you can have multiple account owners. So it depends. So because I do have clients who so husband earns the money, wife doesn't work.
Yep.
Wife doesn't work, but wife used to work and wife has savings.
Okay.
So wife
Okay.
has savings. So when we discuss the family financial plan, so then I said, okay, for the husband, you need to have emergency savings first before we can start risking money.
Uh-huh.
So, but then the wife said, no lah, you can use my savings as the family emergency funding because I don't need my own emergency funding, according
Yeah.
to her.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So then whatever excess that my husband has and everything, okay, please advise him to
Grow the wealth.
invest so that it can grow. It can grow. So so
That's
so
smart.
the it's still different accounts. So the wife
Yep.
holds the emergency savings, which is the first
Yep.
6 months
Yeah.
of the need. So then the husband holds the growth account. So
Okay.
they are holding different part of the family's wealth.
Fair enough. That is okay also. Can be
Yeah,
discussed that way also. So it
yeah,
can also be discussed in a way where you when you calculate your income together and you go, okay, you collect money, your excess is for the savings and parachute in case anything happen to the family. I
mm,
will invest on growth, so that way
yeah,
can, or either way, the
yeah.
husband do for the savings, the wife do for the growth pun boleh.
Alright. But this goes back to next question, which I said
Ah,
is a very good question. This can only happen if you communicate.
correct. Food. Next question is the first question, the scariest but the most powerful.
Yeah, as long as you communicate, this
Right.
can happen. So
Correct.
because you are sharing your vision, you're sharing your goals, and you're sharing your plans.
Correct.
So then the
Correct.
other party, if the other party feels that whatever that you're trying to do is in line with their own goals, vision, objectives, then they will work together with you.
Correct. 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 I don't understand Rizwan's hashtag. Beras kita beli bincang kekan. What's that?
Oh, I think this was a hashtag that went viral. I think what a month and a half ago. It was with regards to basically saying that the husband actually has a say in the family because we are buying the beras lah.
Oh,
Can't
okay,
you
okay,
see?
okay. Wih, bahaya weh. Oh, don't cari pasal. We're trying to do equal rights here and making sure everybody's finances is good because we want everybody to grow. Okay. What are the dangers besides non-communication lah? And besides no trust and all that.
Mm.
When it comes to the finances, when it comes to couples, that people
Okay.
don't see sometimes. Ada tak?
Okay. So while I'm a big proponent of communication, I'm a big proponent of having shared goals and everything. I would still feel that it is very important for each spouse to have your own wealth,
Understand. Understand.
because the thing is you have to remember, so the relationship that you have is an is went through is a love relationship, you got married and everything. That is always, I'm not praying
No,
that it's going to happen and
okay.
everything.
Let me try
Yeah.
say this.
Yeah.
It's a contract you sign with someone else.
Ah,
Contracts can be terminated too. All right.
yeah.
Not that we're saying we want any contracts to be terminated, but contracts can be terminated if you're at the losing end. When contracts are terminated and you don't have anything to sustain yourself, you will be in trouble.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. Because the thing is, I've seen it happen. I've seen it
Yep.
happen. I've heard it happen even close to home.
Okay. Okay. Understand.
Close to home, when generally the spouse that is not income earning didn't put aside her own savings, whatnot, didn't ask for her rights or whatever. So then get left behind
Right.
by
It's
by their spouses, and then have to fend
for themselves.
fend on their fend on self, fend on their own.
Yep.
So it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not easy. So it would be easier if then you have some savings. Some savings put aside, you have some assets put aside. So I would still advise to have certain assets under your name, even though you are not working, even though you're talking about having couple goals and everything. I
Yeah.
would still advise as a financial planner, both sides need to have uh your own assets.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
if nothing goes wrong, then it's
Good.
fine.
Yes, correct.
It's fine.
This
But
this in case of a rainy day lah, if something goes wrong. Okay. And it also, this is non-financial part. It also helps with your pride and ego. Sometimes if you feel like you got nothing under your name, it can be bad for self growth. So I know this is nothing to do with finances, but it's good to have it separate. So kalau boleh, if you have your own things under your name. If anybody got any questions, please put it in, because this topics when it comes to kawin cepat, get more money. That's the question. When we talk to Syed Azmi, one of the lines is people say kawin cepat better. Is it better when it comes to finances?
okay. I wouldn't say that I kahwin cepat, but technically it's still relative early. So I got married when I was 24.
Yep, yep.
I got married when I was 24, and I
That's
think
young. Yeah.
that's yeah. But I think it's more normal for Malays to get married young compared to other races.
All right. Okay.
Because I remember having this discussion with my non-Malay friends when I gave them my what do you call-
Wedding
wow,
invite.
yeah, wedding invite. You're getting married so early, ah? Yeah. So you? No lah, I'm not even thinking about marriage yet. Okay, let's stop that.
Correct.
Let's stop that. So, but coming to, so I would say I actually got married relative early. So to me, I don't see an advantage either getting married early or getting married late.
Okay.
Actually, what's more important is having the understanding of how to manage your finances.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so like when I got married early, so obviously there is this push from the people around you once you got married. Okay, so what's next?
Yes. 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 Yes.
You need to have kids, you need to have need. So for me and my wife, because we have the discussion,
Yeah.
this is the communication. So go back to Nick again.
Communication at the start already.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
so we had a communication, and then say, okay, if we're living like this when we start, we do have a house, we do have a car, but we will basically like we barely had enough for savings. We barely had enough for savings, and takaful was almost non-existent.
Yeah. Okay.
Takaful was almost non-existent. So we said like we can't even enjoy ourselves. So where's the responsibility of bringing a kid to the equation?
Understand. Yeah.
To meet the equation. So then, and we said, okay lah, let's enjoy married life first. Let's enjoy married life first, and once we are more financially stable, then we'll go ahead and have the child.
All right.
Go ahead and
No.
have a child. So
Which
that's why like we waited about 3 years before we had our first son.
which is true. I also waited, and the biggest thing when it comes to marriage is you expanding your family. That changes your finances. That's the truth. If you kawin, not much changes. It's just you're legally allowed to live together. But
Yeah.
when you have extended family where you start having kids, that's when beban tambah. Can you afford it?
Because actually your point is actually correct. The thing is, once you get married, especially both of you were obviously adults, and both of you were working before.
Yep.
Okay, both of you are working. Actually, you're combining two income, but there are certain expenses that you're saving on.
Houses, because
Houses
you
and
can.
transportation.
Correct. Betul. No.
Houses, transportation, electricity, and
Correct.
internet, and a few things you actually save on, because you
Correct.
if let's say you're on your own, you still spend that amount.
Correct. No, agreed. I totally agree. So there are some savings, tapi you got to be smart about it. Okay, Anis has a question for us, which is panjang but very interesting, because he says that it's a great topic. Just join. For young couples, the husband most like not earning enough to cover livelihood of the family, resulting in wife to cover the portion of it. As a Muslim husband is responsible to provide and not to touch the wife's money. What are your suggestions in this case? Okay, this is where I step back and let you answer because I don't want people to scold me.
Okay. Actually, okay. So in this case, okay. How to
Is that
say it in a way,
statement, wait, before we continue, is that statement factually right? Or is it just
Yes.
a understanding?
No, it's actually so actually as a husband, you're supposed even to provide nafkah for your wife. So
Okay,
so
fair enough.
it's not just to like set okay, have a house on top of her head, food on the table, safety, all that. So you actually even have to give her spending money
Okay,
for her to take care of herself.
all right.
So like her baju and all that. Okay.
Okay,
So it is it's not a cultural thing. It is actually a
a religious
requirement
thing.
for
Okay,
head of families lah. Okay.
okay,
So this is where, like I said, it goes back to the communication part. So I'm not saying that as a start you should be able to do that. Okay. As a start, you should be able to do that. So, but this is where communication with your spouses actually help. So
yeah.
put it as a goal. So okay, so that's what I went through with my wife. I couldn't afford it because uh, I was only earning a small amount. So, but I made sure at least basic things are covered. So house, car, food covered.
Okay,
Okay, so the basics are, but like all the ones, the ni semua cannot cover. But I said, okay, as I earn more money, so then you have to contribute less money. I put that as a personal
yeah.
goal and also as a family goal. So
Okay,
that was my goal. I said I will work hard so that I will get good increments, I will get good bonuses, I will get good jobs, get paid well and everything. So as I get paid more, then your contribution would be less, your contribution would be less, your contribution would be less until a point where you're not contributing anymore. So now the contribution reverses. So instead of you contributing to the family, then now it's my turn to like give you the nafkah that you're supposed to get.
fair enough. Fair enough.
So so
Hey,
so 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 but the thing is you need to understand. So if let's say you can afford it, you can afford it.
yeah, correct. It's goes back to communication and discuss. And just like Rafiq's case, the fun part is at the end of the day, you see, the if the husband's job is to provide, then the wife's job could be growing wealth. So it could be growing wealth for the family. So there's nothing wrong with that because both of you should retire at the same age at the same time. So plan lah. Jom kita retire at the age of 45 or 50 together. Yay! And then work towards that goal and help each other out. So nothing wrong with that. Because then after
Yeah.
that, you can travel the world.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. So as long as your spouse or your wife actually allows you to, then it's fine. But again, as a man, you probably men also has ego lah. Let's put it
Oh,
that way
your
lah.
big ego. Okay.
Yeah. So most men have a certain ego and everything. So if you feel that that is not acceptable, then work harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Work harder. Find other things that can help you because sometimes the thing that you learn at school might not be the thing that you like to do.
Correct.
Okay,
I
I'm actually talking from experience. I'm
Same.
a I'm a I'm a mechanical engineering graduate from MIT. So, but I'm doing FB live shows on personal finances with JJ every 2 Fridays.
Yes, and JJ studied electrical engineering and he's doing all kinds of entertaining stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
two engineers, two engineers.
yes. Engineers doing something totally out of this world. But I still believe engineers have very good structural thinking. So
Yeah,
that's why
so
we get to do a lot of things.
still, if let's say you want to do engineering, still go ahead.
Betul, betul,
Still
betul.
go into the engineering because I do like what JJ said. I do believe that engineering graduates have a lot of flexibilities.
Yeah, correct. I actually used my engineering in my radio last time. My structure was based on formulas and if then else. So anyway, that's okay. Rizwan has one question before we have to go. How sustainable is investing in gold be gold bars or rantai gelang emas?
If you're going to invest, gold bars.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the rantai, gelang, emas, and everything, part of the cost that you pay is actually to the people who actually make the gelang.
Faham tak?
So if let's say you want to invest, go to the dinar, go to the gold bars, gold chips, gold biscuits, whatever it is. So because you're not paying for the commission of the jeweler.
See, you learn something
Uh,
new every day. Oh, we got some more questions, girl.
yeah, I think we take our last question.
Okay, last question coming from Shah Remy. Shah Remy says, in regards of kids and parents, any advice on sandwich generation situation financials? Dilemma of what is this?
Oh, okay, I understand.
Okay, okay,
You
okay,
remember
okay.
that there was
Yes,
something similar, like I think two
basically
weeks
taking care
ago.
of your parents
Yeah, or the
because
parents are using you as their retirement fund.
yep, yep. Which I jokingly tell my kids they are my retirement fund. Uh, I jokingly tell my kids, I'm hoping I don't have to, but you know, you never know what happens in the future. But
Yeah.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I think okay, I can't talk much about the medical responsibilities on that lah, because whether we like it or not, during our parents' time, the financial awareness with taking insurance or takaful at that time was very low.
Yep,
Is
yep.
very low because I'm talking from personal experience. So my mom asked me before, like, can she still take
Insurance.
medical coverage at the advanced age.
Yep,
So due to situation, everything cannot already.
yep,
So and then onwards, like if she knew about it back then, she would have taken it.
yep, yep,
She
yep,
would have
yep, yep.
taken it. Okay. So with regards to that, it's more towards then finding other solutions lah in terms of okay, so whether you like it or not, okay, so people who are in the older generation and everything, they do have time on their hands. So means that they can afford to, let's say, example like medicine and everything, they can still take from the government
Yep,
hospitals. So
yep,
this
yep.
would help you reduce in terms of that cost. Okay. Okay, so that's on that. But there are also parents in Sharimi's. So there's also parents who are living the life through their kids.
Mm.
So means that okay, because they had to basically manage their expenditure because they're when the kids were growing and everything. So now they are then asking the kids to spend for their wants.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so buy the expensive cars, pay for the expensive holidays, go for the expensive food, all that. Okay, because it does happen, and it does happen to some of my clients also. So this is actually a very sensitive topic. This,
Correct.
to be honest, like it's a very sensitive topic. But like what I would say is similar to how you have the discussion with your spouse, which is not easy. You need to have
Yep,
the discussion with parents
correct.
because you cannot be in a situation where your own finances is at risk
Yep,
to please somebody else.
correct. Because one thing I can add to that is you do not want to please your parents and end up leaving a debt for your kids.
Yeah. So that would be worse.
Yes. So, and that's one thing you can do talking to your parents. You can
Yeah.
actually tell them, do you want your grandkids to carry this debt because I'm building it? Or do you want to help me out with that? Because when you throw in grandkids, most of the times parents will be, tanah, tanah. I want them to be best. You did tak
Yeah.
kisah.
Yeah. So but I think when this communication comes in, is like you can be open with your parents.
Yeah, yeah,
You can be open with your parents, say, okay, this is how much I earn.
correct.
This is how much I earn. This is how I'm allocating my income. Okay. Like sometimes you might be surprised how that helps.
Yeah, no, it
How
does.
how 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 that conversation help. How that
It does.
conversation help. Because sometimes like okay, your parents wouldn't know. So because you don't talk to your parents, so your parents do not know how much savings you have, how much you earn, things like that.
Yeah.
But what they know is okay, oh, you just bought a new car. But they don't know
Ah,
you're paying nine years on the car.
Yeah.
Or you just renovated your house, but you actually took a personal loan to do it. Or you just went for a luxury holiday, but you actually use miles that you get from
Correct.
your business trips. So
Yeah.
they do not know that. They do
Correct.
not
Correct.
know that. So if you don't tell them, so they think that you're earning a lot and you are not sharing it with them.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you
Ah,
should explain everything. It's good.
yeah, yeah,
On another note, when it comes to medical bills, uh, there is a segment in your taxes as well for your parents' medical bills that can help you with your tax relief as well.
yeah.
So keep all the bills. If you're paying for your parents' medicals, keep all the bills because you can use it in your taxes. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
Yo, we shot far ahead of time, bro. That's 9 minutes past. But yeah, so I hope this gets all the answers. And the thing is, Anis is saying, hope your kids don't watch. My kids know I say this to them all the time. I told them by the age of 18, you better be a millionaire. Uh, then you can still live with us. If not, leave the house. Find your own job. I told them that. I know I'm just lying lah, tapi it's a good joke. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the questions. Hopefully that answers them. If you got any more questions, please put them in the link, the comments below. And also, if you got suggestions of a topic that you want us to cover the next time we do this, please put it there as well, because sometimes Rafiq and I buntu, so don't know what to talk about. One of the topics we want to cover soon, and hopefully we can get a guest on, is on gig workers, like singers, actors, and all that. So we want to try and discuss that as well. So if you think that's a topic you want us to cover, please tell us. We'll figure out gig workers also.
If you're one of our followers and you feel that you want to be a guest, you want to be a guest, and you want, you just drop drop us a message at our social media sites. At our social media sites, and then we'll have a separate discussion with you in terms of becoming a guest of our FB live session.
I like that estate. One day we should call Victor. Victor is like terror. Estate planning. Victor, I like you, dude. Oh, and before we go, one more time, free medical checkup pula. Financial health check. The link is on top there, and the code's on the side. Please, it's for free. Check it, and then you can go into more in-depth detail when you get in touch with Advantage. Follow their social media for all the different shows, topics, tips that they put up all the time on their social media for you to learn and become more financial literate. Okay. But on that note, thank you very much. We'll discuss again. Very good. Another good week. And we'll see you all soon.
2 weeks from now. So see you guys.
Now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.